Shu Qing reflected that his cultivation was progressing too slowly and concluded he had no choice but to continue taking dangerous opportunities. Inspired by the captain's reckless methods, he believed the captain could likely ignite a third life fire if he caused a few more major incidents in the C-Corps race. Shu Qing decided that once the captain returned, he would ask if there were other places where they could obtain great opportunities. He resolved to keep risking his life until he fully opened all his magic apertures. Believing only then would he stop pursuing such dangerous adventures. 5 days later, while still 3 days away from the Merfolk Island, his identity token suddenly received numerous mission updates. Among them was the hero rankings, the C-Corps race's wanted list that displayed the bounties placed on 7 Blood Eyes cultivators. Although viewing it required 100 spirit stones, Shu Qing initially hesitated, feeling the cost was too high. Soon afterward, however, his identity token was flooded with private messages from fellow disciples, all asking if he had returned and congratulating him. Ding Shui even sent an emotional message expressing how excited and worried she had been after learning about his deeds. Realizing that everything that had happened in the C-Corps race had been exposed, Shu Qing immediately paid the 100 spirit stones to unlock the rankings. He discovered that he ranked second on the hero rankings, while first place belonged to Chen Erniu. Shu Qing instantly recognized that Chen Erniu was the captain, though he was surprised because the captain had never revealed his real name before. After carefully examining the rankings and recalling the fragment of the divine nose stored in his bag, Shu Qing concluded that the C-Corps race's furious reaction was most likely caused by the irreversible destruction triggered when Golden Crow refines all life destabilized the divine object. However, he also suspected the captain might have caused even greater chaos after they separated. Since the C-Corps race's response seemed excessively intense, although his fame had spread everywhere, Shu Qing felt uncomfortable with the attention. He disliked standing out, believing it went against both the survival principles he had learned growing up and the traditions of the Seventh Peak. He silently blamed the captain for creating such an enormous disturbance instead of leaving immediately. Seeing the staggering rewards offered for Chen Erniu especially, Shu Qing realized just how overwhelming the C-Corps race's hatred and killing intent had become. He understood that such enormous bounties would tempt countless cultivators to hunt them down. Knowing that even the sect might no longer be completely safe, Shu Qing nevertheless judged it safer than remaining outside, where chaos and greed were even greater. During the following days, he became extremely cautious, using his shadow to conceal the fluctuations of his identity token while also disguising his appearance. Even so, he still had to return through the Merfolk Island because traveling back to 7 Blood Eyes alone would take too long and expose him to greater danger. After arriving at Image Island, he immediately headed to the teleportation array. Since most cultivators were fighting on the battlefield, his arrival attracted little attention. He quickly verified his identity with his jade slip and activated the teleportation array. Just before the teleportation completed, a fifth peak disciple monitoring the formation noticed the name, Shu Qing, displayed on the teleportation stone. Shocked, the disciple cried out his name, but Shu Qing had already disappeared within the teleportation light. Meanwhile, deep within the C-Corps race's territory, Miao Chen sat atop the head of a gigantic half-rotten armored corpse more than 5.000 feet tall. His once handsome face had been horribly disfigured by the corrosive injuries Shu Qing inflicted, leaving him with a twisted appearance and none of his former noble bearing. A masked woman reported that none of the C-Corps race's healing treasures could remove the corrosive power from his wounds. Only the king and the marquises possessed the ability to cure him. But the king refused to help unless Miao Chen personally killed Shu Qing first. Furious, Miao Chen accused the C-Corps race of hypocrisy, reminding them how they had previously taken advantage of the weakened spirit jade to scheme against him without imposing such conditions. He even suspected they intended to let Chen Erniu and Shu Qing grow stronger before eventually killing and transforming them. After driving the woman away, Miao Chen's eyes burned with bloodshot hatred. As a Dao child of the C-Corps race, a perfected foundation-building cultivator with 4 life fires, he could not accept that he had been defeated and humiliated by an unknown cultivator. Filled with resentment, he swore that he would never let Shu Qing go and vowed to kill him before his hatred could be extinguished. After teleporting away, Shu Qing immediately noticed the shocked expression of a fifth peak disciple and became even more vigilant. He believed that anyone could be tempted by the Sea Corpse race's bounty on him, especially since he had also made an enemy of the Sea Corpse race's Tao child. Because the golden crow refines all life had permanently devoured the statue's nose. Xu Qing concluded that the Tao child's damaged face and ear would likely never recover either. Realizing the Tao child would hate him deeply, he decided he must find an opportunity to eliminate him. The teleportation array soon brought Xu Qing back to the Seven Blood Eyes. As familiar bustling sounds filled his ears, he saw the sect's city and the disciples lining up at the teleportation station. 2 gray-robed disciples were registering arrivals and departures. Xu Qing found them somewhat familiar but paid little attention until they respectfully greeted him as a martial uncle after noticing his purple Taoist robe. Before leaving, Xu Qing stopped to look at the female disciple. He pointed out that although her cultivation was close to the 6th level, the forbidden sea aura within her sea transformation art was weaker than other 7th peak disciples of the same realm, advising her to strengthen it for a smoother breakthrough. The woman thanked him nervously. Xu Qing had recognized her as the disciple who had kindly warned him about the sect's dangers when he first arrived at Seven Blood Eyes. So he repaid that small kindness with some cultivation guidance. After Xu Qing left, both qi condensation disciples were drenched in cold sweat. The pressure from Xu Qing's cultivation and the murderous aura accumulated on the battlefield made him seem like a terrifying demon. The male disciple asked how the woman knew such a powerful senior. After checking the teleportation records, the woman discovered that the person was Xu Qing. Both were shocked, realizing he was the famous disciple who had destroyed the Sea Corpse race's holy item and become the target of a massive bounty. The woman recalled that when Xu Qing had first entered the sect as a scavenger carrying a white token, she had warned him about the sect's dangers after noticing his name. The male disciple then remembered telling her that the young scavenger would not survive more than 3 months. His face immediately turned pale as he realized her seemingly insignificant kindness had unexpectedly become a valuable connection. Meanwhile, Xu Qing walked through the city toward Port 176's transportation department. Since his magic ship had been destroyed, he needed a place to stay and intended to have Zhang San repair or refine a new magic ship before returning to the homicide department. Walking through the familiar streets after being away for half a year, Xu Qing felt an uncommon sense of peace. Although the war continued, the atmosphere inside Seven Blood Eyes remained largely unchanged except that many ports had been converted into transportation hubs for strategic supplies. As shipping by merchant vessels was far more economical than using teleportation arrays for a prolonged war. Thinking about the future profits, Xu Qing praised Zhang San's foresight in investing in Port 176. At the same time, he remained cautious because the captain's actions had attracted immense greed. Fortunately, the captain carried a larger bounty than he did, so Xu Qing believed anyone seeking rewards would target the captain first. Since the captain also cared about his reputation and would likely enjoy the fame, Xu Qing decided it was best not to reveal the truth behind what had happened. Upon arriving at Port 176, Xu Qing saw that it had developed tremendously during his absence. Most of the port had been requisitioned to transport military supplies, while the merged ports had become far larger and much more prosperous. With orderly streets, numerous shops, and crowds many times larger than before, Xu Qing sent a voice transmission to Zhang San instead of entering directly. Zhang San immediately rushed out excitedly and quickly pulled Xu Qing into a warehouse. He excitedly declared that Xu Qing and the captain had become famous throughout the Seven Blood Eyes for destroying the Sea Corpse race's holy statue. Xu Qing repeatedly corrected him, insisting that the captain was responsible. Zhang San explained that the 7th ancestral corpse statue's nose could not be restored, enraging the Sea Corpse race. Their higher-ups had even negotiated with the Seven Blood Eyes ancestor to retrieve the nose fragments, but the request had been flatly rejected. Xu Qing again emphasized that everything had been done by the captain and sighed that he had merely been implicated. Once Zhang San calmed down, he eagerly asked whether Xu Qing still had the statue's nose fragment. Xu Qing took it out, explaining that after leaving the Sea Corpse race it had become nothing more than an ordinary gray stone without any special aura. The enormous 100-foot fragment looked ancient and weathered, covered with countless honeycomb-like holes. Zhang San immediately stopped Xu Qing from handling it carelessly. After carefully inspecting the fragment, he excitedly explained that although it had lost its mystical power, Its symbolic value was immeasurable because it represented the Sea Corp's race's greatest humiliation and the item they most desperately wanted to recover. He proposed building a massive museum in Port 176 to display the nose fragment obtained by Xu Qing and the captain. Such a museum would guarantee sect protection, bring enormous publicity, attract countless visitors, greatly increase the value of nearby shops and streets, and eventually make Port 176 the #1 port in the Seven Blood Eyes. Impressed by Zhang San's remarkable business sense, Xu Qing agreed with the proposal. After discussing the museum, Xu Qing finally brought up his real purpose for coming, his magic ship. Zhang San smiled confidently, saying he had already expected Xu Qing's ship to suffer damage and promised to repair it now that the port was wealthy enough. Xu Qing thanked him and asked if the repairs could be completed quickly. Zhang San then asked him to hand over the damaged ship. Xu Qing simply replied that it had been destroyed. The warehouse fell silent as Zhang San stared at him in disbelief and repeated, "Destroyed?" Xu Qing nodded seriously and confirmed that it had indeed been completely destroyed. Zhang San fell silent after learning that Xu Qing's magic ship had not been destroyed by the Sea Corp's race but shattered by a golden core cultivator. Realizing that Xu Qing, despite only being in the foundation building realm, had provoked a golden core and survived, he concluded that Xu Qing was just as reckless as the captain. Curious about the captain's fate, he asked where he was. Xu Qing recalled the 3 golden core auras that had appeared before his escape and remained silent. Assuming the worst, Zhang San decided that while forging Xu Qing's new magic ship, he would also prepare a coffin for the captain. And after Xu Qing left, he concluded it was safer to forge 2 coffins, one for each of the Mad brothers. Night fell as Xu Qing returned to Port 176. Listening to the waves, he decided to keep a low profile within the sect. As deputy director of the homicide department and leader of the Black Division, his arrival made every disciple in the department treat him with great respect. Qi condensation disciples were stationed outside his residence to await his orders, including the mute, who fiercely guarded the entrance and viewed anyone approaching as an enemy. Xu Qing noticed that the mute's spirit sea had reached 700 feet, meaning he had entered the 7th level of the sea transformation art. But he had no intention of investigating, believing everyone had their own secrets. Half a month passed quietly. Although Xu Qing's return had been low-key, news of it gradually spread. Few dared disturb him because of his fearsome reputation, with only Huang Yan, Ding Shui, and a handful of others visiting him. During this period, the war between the Seven Blood Eyes and the Sea Corp's race intensified dramatically. A week earlier, the Seven Blood Eyes had launched a massive offensive, splitting their forces into 7 groups to attack the 7 secondary islands surrounding the Sea Corp's race. 4 groups served as feints to pin down enemy forces, while the remaining 3 launched the true assault to seize the islands and use them as staging grounds for invading the Sea Corp's race's territory. According to the Homicide Department's reports, the battle was extremely fierce, but the Seven Blood Eyes successfully captured 2 secondary islands, placing the Sea Corp's race at a severe disadvantage. High-level cultivators also joined the conflict, escalating the war even further. Increased rewards attracted countless disciples to the battlefield in search of bounties. Although attention on the bounties for Xu Qing and the captain had declined because of the large-scale war, Daochild Miao Chen of the Sea Corp's race issued an additional bounty specifically targeting Xu Qing. He promised to fulfill 10 requests for anyone who killed Xu Qing and 1 request for anyone providing accurate information about him. As a famous Daochild with extraordinary combat strength, Miao Chen's bounty immediately became a sensation, surpassing even the captain's notoriety. The details of Xu Qing's battle with Miao Chen spread widely. Despite Miao Chen's only concern being Xu Qing's death, he also publicly challenged Xu Qing to a one-on-one duel on the battlefield with no outside interference. Xu Qing saw both announcements but ignored them completely, considering Miao Chen foolish, having survived life in the slums and grown up in the Seven Blood Eyes. Xu Qing preferred ambushes and swift kills over honorable duels. Meanwhile, a major event occurred within the sect. A massive museum was built at Port 176. Although the project was initially kept secret, Zhang San openly publicized it. The museum contained only a single exhibit, the nosepiece of the 7th ancestral corpse statue of the Sea Corp's race, which would be displayed for everyone to see. The announcement shocked the Seven Blood Eyes and enraged the Sea Corpse race, who regarded it as an unbearable humiliation. Upon hearing about it, the Seven Blood Eyes ancestor was delighted and personally sent a piece of calligraphy from the battlefield to hang above the exhibit. It contained only 3 words: light the nose. Xu Qing visited the nearly completed museum after receiving Zhang San's message. Seeing the enormous nosepiece and the ancestor's calligraphy, both he and Zhang San were puzzled about the meaning, with Zhang San guessing that perhaps it meant to burn the nose with fire. Before they could discuss it further, Xu Qing suddenly sensed someone nearby despite seeing nothing. Instantly reacting, he drew his dagger and slashed through empty space, causing a surprised voice to ring out. A moment later, another invisible attack came from behind. Xu Qing erupted with 2 balls of life fire, turned, and threw a powerful punch. The collision forced both him and the unseen attacker several steps backward. Recognizing the person, Xu Qing calmly called out, "Chen Niu." The captain, still invisible, corrected him, demanding to be called director. Zhang San happily realized the captain had returned. The captain casually claimed that escaping had been easy despite being chased by dozens of golden core cultivators. He boasted that he had reached the Sea Corpse race's battlefield, visited the first ancestral corpse statue, urinated there, and even considered stealing it so everyone could do the same. He further claimed that he had entered the Sea Corpse race's palace to distract them for Xu Qing's sake and would have visited the recovering ancestor if he had not rushed back. When Zhang San asked why he remained invisible, the truth was that the captain was in an extremely miserable state. Hidden from sight, he had lost 1 arm and 1 leg. His waist was nearly severed. His body was riddled with wounds. His face was swollen beyond recognition, and his hair was scorched. Despite enduring excruciating pain and being on the verge of falling apart, he maintained his dignity, pretending invisibility was simply a useful habit and a way to emphasize his authority. He calmly ate an apple while continuing his exaggerated stories. Finally, the captain reminded Xu Qing to repay the 50,000 spirit stones he still owed him. Xu Qing silently lowered his head and looked at the shadow on the ground. Unlike others, he could see that the shadow had transformed into the shape of a one-armed, one-legged person and was trembling as it silently ate an apple. After joking that one of the captain's arms and legs should be worth 30 million spirit stones each from the 100 million bounty, Xu Qing threw him a jade slip containing a recording of the captain acting coquettishly while disguised as the third princess. The captain immediately dropped the joke about Xu Qing owing him 20,000 spirit stones and changed the topic after laughing. Zhang San asked the captain to return the missing nosepiece of the giant statue for his museum. The captain tossed out the enormous gray stone, but it was covered with bite marks because he had repeatedly tried to bite it on the way back, only to discover it was completely useless. Zhang San happily placed it together with Xu Qing's nosepiece and became excited about displaying them. The captain said he had official business to handle but revealed he had been preparing a major plan. After obtaining a high-level corpse heart, he only lacked some information before the 3 of them could carry it out. When Xu Qing asked if it could open magic apertures, the captain replied that Xu Qing's ambition was too small. If they succeeded, they would soar to the heavens in a single step. He revealed that both Binding's flesh and the high-level corpse heart had been collected specifically for this plan before leaving despite his injuries. Xu Qing noticed that the captain had actually escaped by controlling the shadow. Zhang San focused entirely on his museum before handing Xu Qing a small bottle containing his newly refined level 8 magic ship. Xu Qing went to port 176, summoned the ship, and saw that although its appearance remained unchanged, its materials had been greatly upgraded thanks to the profits from the port. The ship emitted an aura capable of suppressing life fires, reminding Xu Qing that level 8 magic ships possessed power capable of suppressing foundation-building mystic brilliance form cultivators. Reading Zhang San's jade slip, Xu Qing learned that although the ship had lost Binding's flesh and its divine attack, every component had been rebuilt using high-grade materials, making it extremely valuable. Zhang San explained that unlike magic boats, the first 7 levels of magic ships did not differ greatly, but level 8 represented a tremendous leap. He had focused entirely on defense, using the heart of a boulder beast as the core, allowing the ship's defensive power to rival an early-stage foundation-building mystic brilliance form cultivator. He had also reserved a place for a divine heart, If Xu Qing could obtain the heart of a divine creature, the ship could immediately advance to level 9, reaching the strength of a mid-stage foundation-building cultivator. A sufficiently powerful divine heart could eventually allow the ship to reach level 10, matching a late-stage foundation-building cultivator. Such ships were extremely rare even within the sect. Zhang San had also retained the disguise and explosion technology from the previous version while adding an entirely new self-destruction mechanism, joking that this would allow him to participate whenever Xu Qing blew up another ship. Satisfied despite losing the divine attack, Xu Qing boarded the ship, activated its barrier, entered the cabin, and resumed cultivating. Although he was curious about Zhang San's idea of participation, he paid little attention to it. 3 days passed. The captain's return caused another sensation throughout the sect because of the achievements he and Xu Qing had accomplished. Xu Qing also looked forward to the reward the sect had promised. More importantly, he finally felt relieved. Before the captain returned, he had feared that any malicious high-ranking elder might target him. Now he believed that if anyone wished to collect the bounty, the captain, who ranked first on the wanted list and had caused the destruction of the statue's nose, would inevitably become the primary target. At dusk on the third day, Xu Shalwi arrived outside Xu Qing's magic ship. Thin, weak, and only at the third level of qi condensation, she had struggled for months before gathering the courage to seek him out. Although they had entered 7 blood eyes together, Xu Qing had already become a famous foundation-building cultivator, making her feel insignificant in comparison. She knelt outside the ship and requested an audience with martial uncle Xu Qing. Xu Qing emerged after hearing that Zhou Qingpeng had died tragically in the sect 3 months earlier. Remembering that Zhou Qingpeng had once generously given him the ghost desires, which had greatly helped his cultivation, Xu Qing was saddened but not surprised, knowing that death was common in 7 blood eyes. Since he owed Zhou Qingpeng a favor, he asked Xu Shalwi to explain everything. Xu Shalwi said Zhou Qingpeng had served under Ding Xiaohai in the Coast Guard Department, performing many secret tasks in exchange for a promised follower position. However, after Ding Xiaohai advanced and left the department, he abandoned Zhou Qingpeng, leaving him without protection. Because of his previous actions and the wealth he had gained during the 7th Peak Grand Competition, he became the target of many enemies and was ultimately murdered in the streets 3 months earlier. Despite months of investigation, she had discovered nothing about the killer. Xu Qing then asked about her relationship with Zhou Qingpeng. Xu Shalwi tearfully admitted that she had once borrowed a large amount of spirit stones to buy a magic boat and, unable to repay the debt, had become the plaything of several sect disciples. Enduring humiliation and abuse, Zhou Qingpeng had pitied her, paid off her debt, never took advantage of her, and repeatedly helped her afterward. Feeling deeply indebted, she had spent months sacrificing her dignity while investigating his death. But with no results, she had finally come to beg Xu Qing for help. As she lowered her head to kowtow, a gentle force stopped her. Xu Qing calmly told her there was no need, since he also owed Zhou Qingpeng a favor. He promised that he would personally investigate the case. Xu Qing told Xu Shalwi he would help investigate Zhou Qingpeng's death. These words became the greatest comfort she had received in months. She had truthfully told Xu Qing everything, though she hid the suffering and sacrifices she had endured during her investigation. Having lost all sense of belonging to the 7 blood eyes, she still harbored no hatred. She simply could not understand why the kind senior brother Zhou had died so tragically and only wanted to repay his kindness. Though she sometimes questioned whether her efforts were worthwhile, she believed giving up would mean abandoning the last warmth in her heart. Even after Xu Qing helped her stand, she knelt again, seeking peace of mind. Xu Qing sighed and summoned someone through a voice transmission jade slip. Soon, a small mute in a grey Taoist robe and dogskin coat arrived. Although only appearing to be at the 7th level of qi condensation, he had gained a fearsome reputation in the homicide department by recklessly killing many wanted criminals, including 9th level qi condensation cultivators. He knelt before Xu Qing with obvious reverence. Xu Qing ordered him to investigate Zhou Qingpeng's death, instructing him to obtain any necessary details from Xu Shalwi through a messaging jade slip. The mute immediately left without asking a single question. Xu Qing silently waited, after only the time it took for 2 incense sticks to burn. The mute returned with a jade slip containing a complete investigation. What had taken Xu Shalwi months of painful effort had been solved almost instantly thanks to the homicide department. Xu Qing ignored most of the details and focused on the murderer's identity. The killer was Li Zelin, a foothill disciple of the first peak at the 9th level of Qi condensation. He was ruthless, cautious, and had been directly involved in the deaths of at least 11 disciples from other peaks. He carefully selected his targets and killed outside his own territory, avoiding conflicts that powerful figures would pursue. Normally, such deaths were ignored within the 7 blood eyes unless someone influential intervened. And Zhou Qingpeng's case would have remained unresolved without Xu Qing's connection to him. The mute had also discovered Li Zelin's current whereabouts. He had become a follower of the first peak disciple Wu Jianwu and was currently guarding outside the Knowing Dreams restaurant while Wu Jianwu met someone inside. Xu Qing handed the jade slip to Xu Shalwi. After reading it, she became pale and hesitated, worried that Li Zelin's powerful backing would make Xu Qing abandon the matter. Xu Qing simply said, "Let's go." The mute led the way while Xu Shalwi followed. Filled with excitement, Knowing Dreams restaurant was one of the Port District's finest restaurants, specializing in spirit food that strengthened the body and gradually removed anomalous substances. Inside a luxurious private room on the 2nd floor sat Wu Jianwu, the captain Chen Erniu, whose injuries had completely healed, and the old innkeeper from the Panchuan Road Inn, a giant snake, Linger, also coiled around the room's beam. The captain teased Linger, asking if she missed someone. He offered to bring Xu Qing to accompany her for a day in exchange for 10 bottles of anomalous substance fog. Linger seemed tempted, but the old innkeeper scolded the captain for trying to deceive even a child. Wu Jianwu coldly recited another strange poetic line, prompting the captain to joke that if he were their uncle master, he would beat Wu Jianwu until he spoke like a normal person. Wu Jianwu responded with another cryptic verse, while the captain assured him he would not beat him because he had promised their uncle master not to bully his disciples anymore. The old innkeeper finally explained the 3 reasons for gathering them. First, the time he had promised Wu Jianwu's master was nearly over. Since he needed to leave the 7 blood eyes, he would reinforce the inn seal one last time and told Wu Jianwu to have his master quickly send a replacement. Otherwise any future problems would no longer concern him. Second, he told the captain he could reinforce the seal suppressing him only 3 more times. After that, he would be unable to help. The captain needed to find a stronger divine source to suppress whatever was sealed inside him. Or once it awakened, he might no longer remain himself. The captain continued smiling but stopped eating the apple in his hand. Third, the innkeeper announced that he would leave for several years to escort Linger to her ancestral land because she was about to reach the foundation building realm. Linger protested, clearly reluctant to leave Xu Qing. The innkeeper teased her for constantly thinking about Xu Qing and joked that Xu Qing might even eat her. The captain encouraged Linger, saying Xu Qing was an excellent match for her. Delighted, Linger gave the captain a bottle of anomalous substances as thanks. The captain accepted it happily and joked that Xu Qing could become Linger's boy toy. Curious, Linger asked what that meant. When Xu Qing's name was mentioned, Wu Jianwu suddenly became serious. He urgently confirmed whether they were referring to Xu Qing of the 7th peak who had recently broken through to foundation building. The captain confirmed it and revealed that Xu Qing was now his deputy director. Asking if Wu Jianwu knew him,